information you gave me yesterday, that was
Yeah,
because state law says this, we have to do it this way. That right there is having it shoved down your throat.
We could view that as a minimum and attempt to increase it, but then we run the risk of having, when this goes up in front of the legislature,
whether they say, no, you can't do it.
This is too unusual.
Again, being
and then we'd have to argue with them.
And what you're doing is you're allowing people who already can't run their business, already don't do it well to start with, to decide that this hybrid way that you've thought might work really good because you know the people in Wareham, you know the problems in Wareham, you know how things work in Wareham. You said, we think it will work for us this way. And now you've got to convince them. Maybe you can convince them, and maybe they're more likely they're going to come back and say, you know, this is the way we do it here in Massachusetts.
Yeah.
And you go back and say, yeah, but it doesn't work here in Massachusetts. And then, you know, you're going to end up with years of that kind of nonsense going on too.
Sure.
You know, and just don't get me wrong, I'm not in favor of, or nor am I against what you guys are proposing, because I'll tell you what my attitude is, I haven't got a clue. I don't know what will work. I think a hybrid of some sort is going to work, but I think under the guidelines of what the state has given you already, it just seems to me like it's just like listening to what, you know, the people who already, it's the blind leading the blind, or the blind trying, a better one is the blind trying to blind you, because you guys aren't blind. You know what's going on here, but it's the blind trying to tell you how to handle something that they can't see.
Yeah.
But they do give us that out, and that we can, you know, sit there and modify what's there.
Right, unless they don't approve it.
But it's no different. Say if you wanted to go from a town council government to a town meeting, you're also regulated the same way. I mean,
doesn't make it any better.
I'm not saying it does, but what we've done is, it's really very simple. What we've done is saying, okay, we don't see how this is going to work now and into the future, what we have. It's worked for 270 years, but it's kind of failed in the last 7 or 8 years. So going forward, we've picked a system that we think will be good for now and at least 50 years anyways. And it has more responsiveness to it. And that's really where we're at with it. It's not a matter of, you know, the town meeting can be fixed easily. It's the idea that we need to go the next step. We can't continue going the way we're going because we're slowly collapsing everything around us. You know, with lack of money coming in, you know, every time you turn around, the governor is looking at a budget deficit, and of course the towns are the easiest ones to go after and short them down. And what do? Do you start to lay off your police department? Do you start to cut teachers? What do you do?
Yeah, that's what you do. That's how you reboot an economy. You know, everyone's going to have to do that.
And that's what I'm saying. But
it's just the way it is.
But when you do that, and you're only meeting a couple times a year to get stuff done, you can't react properly.
Right. So what you're really saying is that the problem is the fact that you only meet a couple times a year. That's a place to start. Not meeting just a couple times a year.
But you also, because of the way the system works, even if you met 3 or 4 times a year, I don't think you're going to solve the basic inherent problem that the town meeting as it's set up doesn't respond easily unless there's a set interest group that comes in and wants something done. It doesn't happen smooth and easily. You really need to be more proactive. You can't be reactive.
All right. So show us what you have, because we have to wrap up in about 7 minutes. Explain to us what you have done so far, and I'll stop throwing in my 2 cents worth, and explain to us what it is that you.
Since you've been writing it.
Who wrote that article that you gave me? Because that was really well.
Lee did that. Lee Conlon.
Okay. Because that was really well written. I thought anyway. It's a lot. The reason I say congratulations is because it's a lot to digest, but I thought it would explain how you guys are working pretty well.
Yeah.
It seemed to me anyway.
What we've been working on the last half dozen meetings is writing the new charter. And what we've done is we've taken the basic Plan B template of town council with a mayor, town council legislative branch, and a mayor executive branch.
So that is the recommendation.
And we have been modifying it to address issues that are we feel are pertinent to Wareham. We've got about halfway through it. We're currently working on the article or the portion of the charter that describes school committee, And so we finished the executive branch and the legislative branch and a few other minor things, some transitional stuff, a couple more meetings, and we should be through with the first draft. At which point, our efforts to obtain feedback from people will take us back to the drawing board, and we'll begin to debate different issues and make further edits to the draft.
How will people be presented that? You're welcome to do it here as often you need to.
Well, we'll
we
do
just
it
don't. The show doesn't do politics, so
No.
so.
We
but
will-
we do facts. So what we
We will
what-
basically do what we do, like right now you have the warrant coming up very shortly for town meeting. And I think Onset Protective League has a meeting, I think, at, down over on Onset Ave there, I forget the facility there. We're planning, I think, at least to have a couple meetings. Some of the misconception was that people thought we were actually going to be having this on this particular election. This will come up on the election come spring and April for the town meeting.
What will come up? The whole.
Whatever we're going to present, it will come up and it'll be well in advance, but it will come up for that particular meeting
Okay.
to vote on for the town meeting.
Yeah, let's be clear on that. There is absolutely nothing having to do with the charter review planned for this town meeting in October.
Okay.
These meetings, the meetings that we hope to have with people that we're planning to have, we're already getting feedback through the website, questions that way. And we're going to have informational meetings like he's talking about perhaps at the VFW and other venues. And through those meetings up through April, it's an open book. We will be modifying our draft. Then in April is when we take it to town meeting.
So when you take it to town meeting, that's in essence your final draft and your final proposal, and that's when we will vote on whether we're going to change from town meeting to mayor and council.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's your plan. Okay.
Yes. That's what it is in essence. I mean, what we literally